Yo, what up, and welcome to a new SH Figuarts figure review. Yo, what up, and welcome to SH Figuarts figure review number 30. Now, this is a milestone that kind of slipped under the radar for me. I had no idea, like, up until like a week ago, and I was like, huh? Wait, hold up, I'm gonna film figure review number 30. Okay, what? So, yeah, a bit crazy. But I'm really happy that it's gonna be this, if you read the title, it's the reason why you probably clicked on this other than the thumbnail. But yeah, I wanted to do something special. So this one, well, is special because it has a very special meaning to me. And yeah, I'm really hyped and happy and excited about this one. Took me a minute to kind of choose the proper figure, but I'm really happy with my choice. Now, for quick context, and yes, I'll try to make it quick. Emphasis on try. So, and no, don't put any Star Wars quotes in there with Yoda. Nope. So, not for this figure review. Anyway, for context, before Dragon Ball Super was even a thing, there was this gap in the community where, it basically went from Dragon Ball GT into this long ass period of time where there were only like reruns of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and there wasn't really anything up in the air in regards to like a sequel, which would end up becoming Dragon Ball Super. So the Dragon Ball community just did it themselves, because there are so many Dragon Ball fan series, and yours truly is also writing a lot of them, though. Yeah, like from the outside perspective it is a fan series, but in the Qniverse it is a series, the whole fan thing. So no, I'm an enormous fan. Like, you can even tell my SH Figuarts playlist so far. I've definitely spent the amount of money to prove that I'm a fan. You don't have to spend money on anything to show that you're a fan. You can draw, you can write, whatever. But yeah, just quick little I really spent money on this motherfucker, because I love it so much. So yeah, anyway, back to my point. So like I said, there were a lot of fan series like Dragon Ball AF, multiple Dragon Ball AFs, like Toyble, now known as of course Toritaro. He also made a Dragon Ball AF fan manga, and it's fantastic. And then you have Malik Studios, or Malik, who made Dragon Ball New Age. Love that. I think he's remaking it, and the line art so far looks absolutely fantastic for his manga. But yeah, there was this big gap of just no new official Dragon Ball stuff. Yeah, there were games and all that, but there was no new series. And so, like 5-6 years ago, I would also go on YouTube and just look up, well, Dragon Ball Super is about that old. I would also go on YouTube and just look up like Dragon Ball What If stories, and one channel that I came across was of course Masakox, otherwise known as Lawrence Simpson, but his channel Masakox. And I started watching his videos, and I loved just the aspect of what if. And seeing as I'm writing Dragon Ball Lost Memories, Dragon Ball Linked Universes, Dragon Ball, I'm writing a lot of series, and yes, those are all going to be coming to the channel, but writing takes a lot, because I'm not like a lot of these other fan series. I'm not saying I'm better, I'm different, like, I really write it in the same way that Young Gigi or Toritaro would write it, or Malik from Dragon Ball New Age. Like, it's chapter by chapter by chapter by chapter, so obviously I'm gonna make a manga as well as a motion graphic, which I will post on here, and the manga will probably come out on my Patreon page. So if you want to become a Space Ranger in the Qniverse, or you want to see that in the future, definitely go and check out my Patreon page. I'll put a link to it down in the description below. But yeah, that's how I'm gonna do it. So I'll post my manga on my Patreon, and then I'll post other variants on here once it's all good and dandy, and obviously I'll be drawing it myself and writing it myself. So yeah, a lot of dope content coming in the future. But back to the point for context, like I said, I'm trying to be quick about it. One of the main series that really just put oil on the fire, inside of me in regards to the whole Dragon Ball What If stuff was Masakox's What If Nappa Turned Good. Now he has done almost any single evil character and done a What If They Turn Good story to the point where it's kind of corny, but you know, I haven't been keeping up with him. I don't know, I unsubscribed like a couple years ago, so I don't know, every once in a while I do check up on him, see how, you know, if he's completed any of his series. Oh yeah, but to make my point real quick in regards to the writing, I'm not like Smugstick, Salad Saiyan, or Salad, or however you say it, where they go in one video throughout multiple arcs. I'm not like that. I go chapter by chapter by chapter by chapter, just like Akira did it himself. So yeah, it's a very big story. It's not just, hey, here's what you know. It's like, yeah, here's what you know and here's what I'm bringing, you know? Like, that's the difference. So, because if that would be the case, obviously I would be pumping out these videos like there's no tomorrow. But I'm not writing it like that. I'm going chapter by chapter by chapter by chapter. So that takes a lot longer, but therefore the story is much bigger. It's thick and big and meaty and it's awesome. So that's a joke you could make there. Sorry, it's Friday when I'm filming this. I'm in a corny mood. So anyway, putting all that aside, that's like the differences. I'm going chapter by chapter, not in one video throughout entire saga / arcs. So, putting all that aside, the What If Nappa Turned Good What If series, or, you know, storyline was definitely one of them that just inspired me to really try and write it myself. I even tried writing literally that what if, like What If Nappa Turned Good. And as I was writing this like 5 to 6 years ago, because that's when the very first video came out, I'll put a link to his channel down in the description below if you want to see it. Or rather, I will put a link to that video of the entire storyline of What If Nappa Turned Good that Masakox, or Lawrence, did. So you can watch and enjoy it for yourself. It's multiple hours long, so if you're one of those people that can listen to something on the background like a podcast, put it on. It's fun. Like, I like to play Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 or another game and have one of those what ifs on. It's very relaxing for some reason. I don't know how that works, but I like it. Now, like I said, this story, especially when, slight spoiler alert, but you already read the title, when future Nappa entered the scene, I was mind blown. That seemed at the time like such a creative choice. Oh my god, you know, like I didn't expect this, you know, when I was thinking about a future Nappa, yeah, maybe with a goatee, but you know, as you can see right here, the design is so cool and I love it. And yeah, like I said, my mind was blown at the time 5, 6 years ago. I was like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever. So, as I started writing my own stories, thanks to watching his series, like What If Kid Goku turned Super Saiyan early on, or during Dragon Ball, and What If Nappa Turned Good, and even his own character, what was the character's name? Pata, whatever. That character. Love those stories. So when I started writing my own, because like I said, I started off with my own variant of What If Nappa Turned Good, but I started changing so many things and so many ideas came to my mind that I was like, okay, hold up, we gotta sit down for a sec and write down all these ideas so we can kind of just put them all together for our very first big storyline, which ended up becoming Dragon Ball Lost Memories. So, and you know, still working on that, but like, it's So, you know, I love writing and it's something I picked up over the years, and yeah, like I said, Masakox really inspired me in regards to that, so much respect and love to you, Lawrence. It's, it's just, I'm so thankful and grateful that I picked up writing, because I had tried up until that point so many different things, you know, writing music, writing rap songs, don't ask, but I deleted all of them. I was like, fuck that. I'm a great many things, but I'm not a rapper. You know, I'm a writer, but I'm not a rapper. I'm not out here spitting bars and spitting facts. Like, I leave that to the professionals. I'm good. You know, like XXX, Juice WRLD, Eminem, you know, like NF, like, Cunnilinguist. I could go on, you know, but I'm not gonna do that. I want to stick to the point. When my channel was monetized a couple years ago, and you know, I'm still trying to get remonetized, and if you want to help me with that, definitely just watch my content. Like whether it's the unboxing series or it's the Figuarts series, if you want to help me out, just watch my content. That's all you need to do if you want to help me. So, and of course by sharing and liking the video, you know, the usual YouTube shtick. So, Anyway, I think it was around 2018, 2019, when money was coming in hot. So I wanted to have a lot of custom figures and kind of like these pillars, like essential custom figures that really define a certain moment in time or a certain part of myself. And Masakox's future Nappa was definitely a bucket list character for me. And like I said, the money was coming in hot, the desire was there. I asked one of my good friends, Lewis, as you also know as Timmy Customs, reached out to him and I pitched him this project. He was up for it and he did it. And yeah, he smashed it, sent me a lot of work in progress shots. We talked a lot. And it was worth it because oh my goodness, he looks so cool. Now for those who, yes, I have the figure right here, but for those who have been watching Message Figuarts figure review series, playlist, however you want to put it, I'll put a link to it down in the description below if you want to watch something and have a good time, hear my opinion on various SH Figuarts figures. 30 by this point, can you believe it? But for those who have been watching my SH Figuarts figure reviews, they know that I have not reviewed these standard, you know, normal Nappa figures. So this is a first for me, but I mean, come on, this is a great many things by this point, but it's not your standard Nappa figure anymore. So yeah, we're gonna learn together. So yeah, and I do have the normal Nappa that I will make a figure review for later down the line. I kind of want to do a lot of highlights, like a lot of very high, awesome characters like Mui, Goku, Kefla, Android 17 and 18 from Tournament of Power. Both of Jiren's figures, I guess, appearances in the Tournament of Power. So yeah, if you love that, definitely subscribe if you haven't already. But anyway, without further ado, let's take a quick closer look at Masakox's future Nappa custom figure right now.
It's about time I shut your big mouth. This is the end for you!
And here he is, and as you can see, future Nappa looks fantastic. I love all the detail that it has, and oh my god, the amount of work and the amount of things Lewis had to change from the standard, I almost said 1.0 Nappa, but from the normal Nappa, which I'll show on the left right now. Yeah man, the amount of things he changed to turn it into future Nappa is absolutely bonkers, and the details, the scars, oh my god, we're definitely gonna take a closer look at that in a second. And as you can obviously tell, the robotic arm looks epic. Now for those who don't know the story of future Nappa and basically Masakox's story, I don't really want to spoil anything, so again I'll put a link to his actual full story to watch for yourself. As well as to the part where future Nappa enters the scene, so to speak. So yeah, I'll put a link to both of those videos down in the description below. But my goodness man, this was definitely one of the more out there choices that Masakox has made in regards to his what if stories, and at the time my mind was simply blown. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is epic, because you know, it was not your usual, you know, Nappa keeps his Saiyan armor and he's not trying to adapt to the Earth culture, you know, and when he goes Super Saiyan, his goatee grows, big deal, which yeah, is, you know, that definitely stays the same in this story, but at the same time, this man is covered in scars, is rocking a whole ass new outfit, and has a robotic arm. I mean, that's just fucking epic. So without further ado, let's take a quick closer look at all the details right now. And here he is up close and personal, and as you can see, this man is covered in scars from head to toe. And the cool thing about it is that the scars are not just painted, they're also actual cuts into the actual figure. How badass is that? So you have your typical wrinkles that you can obviously see in his tank top that he's rocking, the Capsule Corp logo, looking fabulous as well. He actually painted that on. How impressive is that? So yeah, if you pause it and zoom in, you can actually see that he wrote Capsule Corp himself, but it just looks legit. So again, Lewis, shout out to you. This is just amazing work. Now, does this custom figure suffer from the usual custom figure trait, which is of course paint chipping? Yes, that is definitely the big Achilles heel in regards to a lot of these custom painted custom figures. That's definitely an area where the third party add-on kits, and you know, where Demoniacal Fit definitely takes the cake and just rocks it out of the park, you know, where it's actually 3D printed pieces, you know, that is better at the end of the day. So far, it has definitely been cheaper than these custom painted ones. I'm not saying that, you know, you should not get this figure. I highly recommend that you get this figure if Lewis is willing to do it, but you know, let's be real, throw enough money to a customizer and they'll probably do it. So if you have the money, because this is some serious money kind of custom. You know, like this is, you need to have a good income. I'm not saying it's $1,000, but it's definitely a couple hundred, you know? So yeah, like money has to be very liquid for you. You know, like if you have multiple income streams or just a good fat fucking paycheck, then go for it. But if you don't and you're very specific about what you invest your money into, I would say hold off on this one until you have, you know, either multiple income streams or a big fat paycheck. But this guy is worth it. The scars, the detail, the fucking missing eye. Are you kidding me? This is literally Terminator meets Dragon Ball. I mean, how fucking epic does he look? I really love it. Now, in order to kind of like save some material for the actual normal Nappa figure, I am not gonna go over his articulation and the various different accessories that he comes with. I'm just gonna put him in a couple of cool poses, talk about how awesome he looks, because he really fucking does, and you know, leave you with my final thoughts by the end of the video. So yeah, definitely gonna save some material for the, you know, future figure review and once that has come out, I'll put a link to that figure review down in the description below. But yeah, man, the detail is there, the paint job looks fantastic, I love it. So let me quickly show you some of the awesome poses that you can put him in right now, starting off with, of course, his somewhat more or less signature pose. Now obviously you know what his legs look like. I mean, ta-da, they're right there. So yeah, but even with the legs, look at the amount of detail. Like his pants actually look like proper pants with all the different creases. I love it. Again, Lewis, you nailed it. And he has a fucking belt. He has a belt. Are you fucking... I mean, you might be like, ah, dude, that's so simple. That is not simple. This is so fucking impressive. To go from your standard Nappa figure to this is nothing less than impressive. And I really love it. So again, you did a phenomenal job, Lewis. Now, as you can kind of see on the side of his leg, he also has his fair share of pouches. So I really like it. And yeah, I'm not gonna zoom in any further on his ass, because why? So... you know, there's no point to that. Going back to the top, as you can see here on the back, first of all, the glossy paint. I mean, come on, you know? Like, that's just, oh, I love it. So anyway. But yeah, man, the detail is there. All the different creases into his tank top and his scar on his left arm. I mean, that looks cool, man. This was before Broly from Dragon Ball Super. You know what I mean? So before you go, oh, this design was definitely heavily inspired in regards to the scars, you know, inspired by Broly from Dragon Ball Super. No, this was before the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie was even a thing. You know what I mean? Dragon Ball Super was a thing, I think. I'm 100% sure about that. But regardless, the scars look fucking epic. And as for his noggin, again, the detail is there, and now you can really tell that he wrote Capsule Corp himself. And personally, I like it. It's a nice personal touch, but still, he is blind in one eye and he has a proper scar to show for it. And as you can even see on his right shoulder, the cut of the scar is an actual cut into the body. Can you see it? It's very hard to see, but hopefully you can. Like, it's right there. There's this little, well, cut into the shoulder, and I really love it. And that is the case for all of his scars. And like, I don't know why that impresses me so much, but it does. And that combined with the paint he used to, you know, show that even better, especially on the eye. I mean, it looks so epic. I love it. You know, I love this design for two reasons. What it represents in regards to my own writing journey, and just the design in general. Like, I love it. It's just, my goodness, man. If you saw this on the battlefield, yeah, I will happily join his side, whatever fucking side that is. You know, like, this is a warrior. This is Nappa, who's gone through hell and back and survived. You know, yeah, he definitely isn't 100% the same man anymore and now has a robotic arm, but at the same time, I mean, come on, you know? This looks so cool. I love the gunmetal gray paint that Lewis went for, and that alongside the glossy black paint he used, I mean, it just makes this arm look so epic and really makes you believe that this is not just, you know, his regular arm painted with a glossy black and gunmetal gray. No, this legit looks like a robotic arm, a separate piece that is a great many things, but not the original arm anymore. You know what I mean? Which, speaking in regards to the story, it isn't. But again, I love it. Obviously, when it comes to custom figures, you have to be a bit more careful because of the whole possibility of paint chipping. But at the same time, you know, if you give it enough time and some loving, you know, you can basically put him in whatever pose you could put the standard Nappa figure in. And yeah, go crazy with it basically. But again, I love the fact that this Nappa has a full-blown goatee. I mean, no offense, that pedo stash had to go at some point, you know what I mean? You could not introduce that character these days without having him looking a bit sus, a bit, you know, you gotta keep your eye on this one and don't let him get too close to kids. You know what I mean? So, but this one with a big, fluffy, Super Saiyan goatee, he's a badass. He's a warrior, and I really love this design that Masakox made and actually hired Malik from, you know, Dragon Ball New Age to turn it into an art piece that I will happily show on the right side right now. And that's one of the 2 references that Lewis used to create this custom figure. I mean, that is nothing less than impressive. So yeah, but let's go over another cool pose that you could put him in right now, and that is of course in his giant storm / volcano explosion pose. Now, the figure, at least this custom figure, like I said, I haven't reviewed the normal Nappa figure yet, but this figure, I suppose, doesn't come with the proper, you know, 2-finger technique. That sounds a bit like something else. Anyway, regardless, instant transmission. Yeah, of course I was talking about that. But regardless. Oh my god. Regardless, you can definitely kind of put him in a similar pose to, of course, that awesome technique where he basically blows up the entire area around him, which is kind of an overpowered technique, but you know, Akira wanted to show how powerful the Saiyans were, and well, point proven. So yeah, again, I really love his design. He definitely looks a lot slimmer. Like in regards to his body, he definitely looks more fit. I'm not saying Nappa was fat. I'm not fat shaming him or anything, but like he definitely was a bit more buff, I suppose. And now he's a bit more sleek and he just looks more powerful, which is pretty obvious seeing as he is a, you know, Super Saiyan. So, one slight spoiler for the Masakox What If, that, you know, I have to get this out of my system because we're showcasing the man himself. So, yeah, spoiler alert, and if you don't want to know the thing that I'm about to talk about, skip ahead like a minute, because I'll try to keep it brief, alright? So, 3, 2, 1. The only thing that I didn't fully agree with in regards to the story was the fact that future Nappa ended up fusing with present Nappa. I mean, yeah, from like the story aspect, I could understand it because, one, it's a challenge. How are you gonna write this? You know, what's gonna happen to Nappa's mindset? Is there gonna be, you know, is it gonna go well? Or is it gonna end up fucking awful? Like, what's gonna happen to it? Obviously, I get it from like a good writing challenge, from that perspective. But I don't know, you know, I don't fully agree with it. I would have rather seen future Nappa either stay in the past as himself and help out, or go back to his future, you know. So when he did end up fusing with present Nappa, I was just kind of like, well, yeah, you know, I don't really agree with it, but let's see where it goes. And I was kind of right in one of the various questions I just stated. But yeah, again, I'm not gonna go into the whole ending aspect of the story, but just briefly wanted to talk about this because that was definitely a bit weird. Now, again, he looks fantastic. The details are there and I just love it, alright? Like, this is not the craziest figure review ever. This is just me geeking out over one of my favorite Nappa designs ever. Now, do I own another custom Nappa figure that is a bit more Qniverse? Yes. Is it 100% accurate to Dragon Ball Lost Memories? No. But was it one of the very first characters I changed and made a custom figure of? Yup. So will I be showcasing that on the channel? Of course. So guess what you gotta do if you want to stick around for that? Obviously, subscribe. And if you like this showcase so far, definitely don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. But yeah, I love this figure. I love this design. Yeah, when I put him in various different poses, especially in regards to his boots and just his legs in general, I am a bit more nervous about it because it's all very tight, and that with paint, you know, being a custom figure, and with of course the Achilles heel of custom painted figures, you have to be careful with it. And again, I am taking my time putting him in different poses. This is definitely one of those figures that I will in the future put on a shelf, you know, in a certain pose and leave it as that. You know, obviously from time to time I'll clean it. But yeah, this is definitely one of those pieces that I'm not gonna put in various different poses after this figure review, because I just want to keep him looking as good as I possibly can. Sorry, I've been talking a lot while you're just looking at his feet. I'm sorry about that. Unless you have a foot fetish, in that case, pop off. But regardless, like I said, it's so cool. And back then, especially back then when this story came out, the idea of Nappa going Super Saiyan, I mean, to this day it's a bit bonkers, and Dragon Ball Heroes has definitely, you know, given us the most amount of content in regards to Nappa being able to go Super Saiyan, and even Super Saiyan 3. Like, are you kidding me? So, I mean, I love it. Obviously, it's nothing less than a promotional anime, but my goodness, the quality's there, the writing is good. Like, it's not like out of this world, oh my god, you won't believe what happens next. But it's good, you know. I definitely recommend Dragon Ball Heroes and Super Dragon Ball Heroes and whatever kind of title it goes by these days. I do recommend it, especially if you want to kill some time. I do hope that they do make an English dub for it. I'm not bitching about the Japanese dub. I love it. Like, I love the Japanese dub. I've really become a fan over the years. So yeah, to me they're equal, sorta. Like, I think the Japanese dub takes the cake. Like, that's just you know, I love the English dub, but I also love the Japanese dub. So yeah, putting all of that aside, let's go to the final thoughts and put them in one final pose. As I tell you, well, like I said, my final thoughts. So let's go and take a closer look at that right now. And here he is, as we have now entered the final thoughts and ending section of the figure review. Now, as you can see, here he is with his boys, future Gohan and Goten. Now, again, if you know this story, you know why this is a beautiful shot. Because Nappa has a very beautiful bond with both boys, as kind of like, okay, spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1, as an uncle. So yeah, he's kind of like an uncle to them. So again, I love the way they look together. And if you haven't seen my figure review for the custom Super Saiyan Gohan, I'll put a link to that down in the description below. I haven't made a figure review for the GT Goten figure, but then again, it's from the 90s. It's kind of old and it's really precious to me, so I don't know if people would actually care that much to watch that video. Obviously, it did come with GT Gohan, who also has a base head and a Super Saiyan head, but for this final shot, I just had to put Nappa with the boys in front of the camera, and yeah, I think he looks absolutely fantastic. He's really and truly a juggernaut among Saiyans, just like Broly. These two are just a different breed, man. Anyway, regardless of all of that, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would definitely give this figure a 9. The only thing that's holding it back from being a 10 is the Achilles heel, the paint chipping. That's just it, you know? And like I said, this is one of those figures that I'm just gonna put in a certain pose, throw on the shelf and leave it there, because what it represents for me personally, it just goes way beyond your typical figure, you know, like just like this future Gohan. Like what future Gohan means to me is like, bruh, I could literally make an entire podcast, not just one video, multiple videos about what future Gohan represents to me and what he means to me, because it's that much. Like, is it that much? It's that much. I'm not kidding. He's my favorite for a reason. But the same can be said for future Nappa. Not that he's my favorite as well, but just what he means to me and what he represents, especially for me from a few years ago. Let's just say it was definitely one of the highlights in a very dark time of my life. So yeah, again, I really love it. And a big shout out to, of course, Masakox himself, otherwise known as, of course, Lawrence Simpson. Shout out to you, dude. And apart from that, of course, a massive thank you to you for watching this video. Again, if you liked it, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. There are a lot more custom figure reviews and regular figure reviews coming in the future, as well as more LMSV showcases, speed drawings, all that good stuff. So if you're into that and you're new to my channel, definitely subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So from the future boys as well as GT Goten, I hope you had an awesome day. I wish you an awesome day, and I'll see you guys and girls in the next video. Peace!